I'm not really sure what to think about this photo. I don't know if I like it or not. I don't know if it works on a artistic level or not, but it's, well, it was an interesting learning experience for me, and I guess that's what really counts. This is a cypress branch or leaf or whatever you call it. It's a cypress tree, and in the background is Theta Pond. And when I took this, I didn't really know what to do to get the photo. I didn't even know if I had a particular photo in mind. I was out walking around on campus, well, around Theta Pond, and I saw this cypress tree with branches hanging down. And so I wanted to try and get a picture of one of these branches hanging down, and I did, and it was okay, nothing special. And then I thought, well, what else could I do to make this shot more interesting? And I realized with the fountain in the background, it would kind of highlight the branch and make it stand out against all the other green. So that's what I got here. There was a couple problems with this, mostly with focusing. It was really difficult to get my camera to focus on this accurately. I think the thinness of the branch made it a little difficult for the phase detect autofocus on my DSLR to really lock focus. Maybe a mirrorless camera would have been able to do this a little better. I'm not sure. In any case, it was really tricky to focus. And I also wanted to get the background really nice and blurry, so I had to shoot with a wide aperture, but that means that there's a lot of optical artifacts or problems on this. If you look at this far away or small, it almost looks like it's purple. And that's purely a result of they call it chromatic aberration. It's when light passes through the lens, especially at wide apertures, the way that it bends and that different wavelengths of the light get bent through the lens and focused, you get these little shifts in color along fine edges like that. So some light that's on the one end of the spectrum, like the purple end of the spectrum, gets a little off. And it generally happens with purple or green, and you see actually examples of both artifacts in this. If you look close enough, you can see both purple and green fringing. And that it just happens, especially when shooting wide open, especially with cheaper lenses like the one I shot this with, which was a 50mm 1.8, the same one I've been using for years. Now, a better quality, higher quality lens, more expensive lens, wouldn't have produced these types of problems, these chromatic aberrations. But I don't know. I don't really encounter this situation often enough to want to spend a whole bunch of money on another lens. Usually you can fix this in Lightroom. There's a little tool you can use to remove those chromatic aberrations. But on something like this, it's extreme. It's all over the place, and there's really no way to solidly get rid of it without ruining the whole photo. So I just decided I was going to be okay with it. I like what's going on generally. I like the nice background blur, especially on the left. You got that one arc from the fountain, that nice parabola from the fountain. It does what I want from a compositional perspective, but it's not as polished as I would like it to be because of all those little chromatic aberrations. Still, it was a interesting photo to take, and I don't think I've taken one quite like this at Theta Pond. And it's hard to say that at this point. I've taken so many photos at Theta Pond. It's hard to find a new and interesting way of shooting familiar stuff at Theta Pond, but I think this worked.